What's going on? What's going on? It is Thursday, July 30th. It is day fourth of this project management professional test prep class. Man, let me tell you. Forgive the audio. I don't have my mic on me. I left it in my truck in the Armada, and I do not feel like walking back over there. But we got us some Raising Cane's for lunch, and we are just going to have a quick little chat. That is all we are going to do right now. I gotta scarf this food down because we have a working lunch, and I gotta be back in the class in about 20 minutes. So we got 20 minutes to chat. I don't know if we're going to use the entire 20 minutes, but we're going to use some of it. All right, we're going to use some of it. Now, let me tell y'all something. I go to damn, the fries are salty. So I go to cognitive behavior therapy for insomnia, right? And my last appointment was on Tuesday, the 28th. Now let me tell you, it's ironic that my appointment was on that day because that day was my oldest son's birthday. Now, we have a bit of a funny relationship. I say it's funny because for whatever reason, he has convinced himself and tries to convince this world that he has been so disadvantaged. And he is convinced that he doesn't have to do any work as far as strong family bonds, communication, or anything like that. I'll say this. I'm grown, as we all know, but for context of the conversation, I'm grown. I've been through a lot in my life. As an individual and as a parent. So, forgive that win. So there's not much that really throws me off in the sense of my needs from other people. Now, like many of us, if we did not or do not have a good model of parenting directly in front of us, we're not necessarily going to be good parents the first time around. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but parenting is is definitely a learning skill that you have to perfect over time. I'll say all that to say, I wasn't the best parent starting out. But over time I got better, right? There was a time when my oldest son came to Maryland, lived with me, and things was good. In that time, life has happened. I had another child. who lives in Maryland, took on their parenting responsibility of a child that wasn't mine. Around the same time that my youngest son was born. And my relationship with her is great. Relationship with my youngest son is great. I've been married, 2 other times. The relationship I have with my second wife's daughter, who is, I think she is about a year younger than my oldest son. My relationship with her is pretty good. Now, my third wife, she has 2 children. Now, I really haven't spoken to them in a while. However, my relationship with them was great outside of her. With her influence, was just horrible. But I say all that to say, my son can have whatever grievance he wants to have with me. And I'm fine with that. Me and his mother, we talk quite often. We don't talk every day. We don't talk as much as we used to. Not that there's any conflict. She has a life, I have a life. But when we get on the phone, it's not a 5-minute call. We are usually on the phone 30, 45 minutes, hour, maybe 2 hours. We may have to hang up, go do what the hell we got to do in life, and get back on the phone and be on the phone for quite some time, because that's the relationship that we have. Now, outside of the bulk of our conversations about our child, we talk about what's going on in each other's lives. Now, that brings me to the grievance that I have with this child. So, New Year's, my son's mother calls me on the phone. Now I'm asleep. And she's telling me how the police are at this child's house in Russellville, Arkansas. She's telling me how the police are at his house because apparently this child is shooting his gun out in the air, in public, in a housing area. Mind blowing to me. She tells him to call me. I'm like, all right, I'll wait to see if you're going to call me. All right, so we're on the phone. Now, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, something crazy like that. It was after midnight. I think we was on the phone for like 45 minutes. Wow. Go to sleep, so she calls me the next day. And we pick up the conversation. And she's giving me the details that she knows. Now, before we get off the phone, she proceeds to tell me that this child posted his citation on social media. And I'm like, what? Who the hell does that? And I think I probably said this story before in the past video. But I get off the phone. Well, while I'm on the phone with her, I text him. Like, really? Like, what are you doing? I don't get a response. All right? So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Now, this may be an issue that I have, maybe not. But 9 times out of 10, I don't call people. I text them first, to see what's up. If they're busy or whatever the case may be. And then after I get a response, then maybe I'll call. That's just how I operate. Because I don't like getting certain phone calls for whatever reason. Maybe busy or whatever. But I want to check first. See if you're available. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Now, time goes by. My birthday's in February. I'm not necessarily expecting a call or anything from my child, because it's whatever. But he tells me happy birthday on Facebook. I'm instantly annoyed. Because for me, most people, when I see your birthday pop up on Facebook, if I have your phone number, I'm going to text you happy birthday. Might call you happy birthday, but more than likely I'm going to text you happy birthday to your phone first. Then I may acknowledge your birthday on Facebook or whatever. So that goes by. I'm like, all right, whatever. Then June rolls in. His mother calls me and she says, I have something to tell you, but you can't tell nobody. I'm like, who the hell am I going to tell? Because the way our relationship is built, it's like, I don't talk to too many people that she knows, and she don't talk to too many people that I know. So I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? So then she gets around to telling me that our child got married in May. I'm like, what? For real? I'm like, wow. Now we're in June and she just found out. So you mean to tell me, regardless of what you feel about us as your parents, you could not have a little bit of decency to say, hey, I'm getting married, or hey, I got married? Mind blown. So I'm like, okay, cool. So in the midst of that conversation I'm having with her, he comes over there. She tells me to be quiet. She puts her phone down and she's talking to him about this marriage. Why you ain't tell nobody, and this, that, and the other, and he's giving his little answers. He says he told 3 people. She said, but you didn't tell your parents. Now he's making light of that. So she goes on to say, I'm going to tell your father. He says, what is he going to do? Text me? And I say to myself, no, I'm not going to text you. For what? If it was meant for me to have a comment or conversation with you about it, then you would have included me in it. So I'm saying to myself, I texted you in January about the nonsense that you're doing, you didn't respond. But then Father's Day comes around and he texts me happy Father's Day. I look at that and I don't even respond. So I'm like, I felt it's disingenuous. Now, let me know what y'all think about that thus far. So then, it brings us up to this week. His birthday is coming. And I say to myself, you don't reach out to your brother Being that you're the older one, you don't reach out to any of your family that's out here. You half-ass have anything to say to me until you need something. So I'm like, whatever. Now again, I could be wrong, I could not be wrong. I guess it's a matter of opinion or experience. Now, when I talked to my therapist this week, I explained all that to her. And I said to myself, I said to her, I have the feeling, the natural pettiness to go on social media and be, ignorant. But I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I said, I'm trying my best not to do that. And I didn't. But here we are, July 30th, and it is eating me up. Because I really, really want to go on social media and just vent. At the same time, I want to reach out to this child and vent. But my experience with this child says it's not worth it. Because he's not going to be receptive. And the problem that I have with him, well, me and his mother have the problem with him is he is very, very one-sided in his thinking. He wants to blame everyone in the world for whatever is not right with his life, but does not want to take any responsibility for his actions or lack thereof. For instance, when I feel the need to, I'm going on vacation. I'm going somewhere. His mother told me, let me see what time it is. I got 2 minutes. His mother told me this boy was upset with me because I go on vacations and don't go to Arkansas to visit him. Here's my thing about that. You are 33 years old now. You do not have a driver's license, right? You do not have a comfortable place for me to stay when I get there. Which means when I fly to Little Rock, Arkansas, I have to rent me a car, drive across the state to Russellville. Then I have to put myself up in a hotel because, as I understand it, he lives very nasty. On top of that, he's married someone who I've never met, and for all intents and purposes, she has called his grandmother a racial slur. Why he would marry someone like that is beyond me. That is not something I want to be around. Other than that, I don't like the way he parents. For what I'm told, he's an abusive parent. But I guess the rest is for another time because I got to get back into class. So I'll catch up with y'all later. Fill you in on more.